I have from the city secretary slash interim city manager, a notice of the posting of the meeting. So I can confirm that it has been posted. A quorum is 4, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so we're in good shape there. I don't see any members of the public present to comment, but I'll wait a second in case someone shows up and speaks up. Now we'll move on. There are no public hearings, and so we will have first an approval of the minutes of our last 2 meetings, which were in your packet. And have you guys had a chance to look at them from what Gio emailed, or would you like to look at them right now?
I did look at the email.
Okay, do you want a minute, Neil, to look it over?
I read through this when I was here a while ago.
Okay, then I would ask for a motion to approve. Let's bundle them together unless anyone has a objection to that.
I move to approve the minutes.
I second it.
Okay, we have a Will motion, Andrew second. Is there any discussion? Then all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? We have minutes. Thank you very much. Everything else, as often in these meetings is just under discussion items. I wanted to let you guys know that, we sponsored a couple, we often sponsor through our grants program, music events in Alpine. We had an opportunity with the Fort Davis Moon and Tunes Festival, which was the same weekend as the Bluegrass Festival. Basically, I got an offer from Pam Knoppen that a relatively small dollar amount we could get in their TV ads to Midland, logo in there. So I said, "What? That seems reasonable." And along with it, we could post a banner at the festival. So I had these guys made, and I was telling Mateo, this is the governor's office is the logo, but I adapted it to make our name really big so that when you see it tiny on a TV screen with a bunch of other logos, you do see Alpine, Texas. This is a forgiveness, not permission kind of thing, because that is state property. We'll see. I'm not going to post it far and wide, but it
Sounds like
I think
public
it's useful.
domain.
Yeah, that's probably true, but we'll see. But I was pretty happy with it. It seemed to work. And then since we also had sponsored the Bluegrass Festival through the grants program, I did 2 of these. So Cindy had one and Pam had one. And now we have 2 of these that we can use at Art Walk or whenever we're sponsoring things that have music. So that's something. Does anybody have any other thoughts about similar things in terms of the city interacting with music events or festivals? Okay, yeah, it was mostly
Would
just
we
letting
be
you
able
know.
to, is this the only one?
I have 2.
Oh.
Cindy's got the other one still.
I just thought a couple, 2 or 3 would be a good.
Yes.
Fine.
And if any of you are aware of a circumstance when it would be appropriate to stick one up there, better to have it than not. So if it crosses your mind, let me or Heather know, and we can get one. And if we need more, they're not that expensive. So
And if there was like an event going on in another town, we would need to be involved to put up something like this, or?
they just have to give us permission to
Oh,
like seize,
Just
ownership
produce
in that way of their event. But like in that one at High Frontier, we kicked in a little money and then we were a sponsor. So it would make most sense for that someone would give us that permission if we'd help them in some way or something. But if they're just like, we love Alpine and its music friendliness, we'd like to show that banner.
yeah,
I'm all about
there
that.
was something in Presidio in November.
You can see which chair you're supposed to be in.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you know,
sit here.
you know.
Do you need to hold your placard?
Oh, what?
It's very important.
It's official.
Okay, when you're comfortable, your chair is here for you.
I'll have to, you'll have to
unstick
me.
Okay.
Sorry, apologize.
Not at all.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
there's an event is like the 6th annual Nocturnal Animals event in Presidio in November, and I just didn't know if
Is
they're,
that a
like,
music thing?
is a music thing, both the like arts and music kind of combining. People are doing like paintings of nocturnal animals and
Wow.
they're doing apparently it's their 6th year doing it. I personally have not heard of it before, but I just didn't know if it was like that was something we could like reach out. Do y'all need anything or
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an opportunity.
to just get involved or just like I don't see a negative thing putting this up or something like that.
Yeah, well, and with like one consideration with the Moon and Tunes deal, ordinarily, if it was, we'll get your banner up, I wouldn't use hot money to get that to happen,
Mhm.
you know, because there's a benefit to telling the people who come to Fort Davis that Alpine's a cool place too. But the hot money is intended to bring people here. So that's
Mm.
where the primary driver for that was the ad, you know, that actually went out
I
to
see.
Midland. And this was a little bonus. But money's not the only way we can help.
Mhm.
And yeah, I love the idea of regional cooperation of all
Yeah.
kinds. So if there's something that as a board or individually that we can help with.
Mhm. Even I guess
Yeah.
like even promotion or like talking about it or something.
Yeah,
Again. Just wondering what
No.
we could use this banner for,
Right.
just to like, tell everybody and, you know,
You
people
bet.
can see it and just question it, look
we
it
can
up.
hang it at the back of the little stage at the Ritchie permanently.
All the
We can
time.
Do that.
Yeah. just
Well, I think
put
that would be
it in there.
good if you're a qualified venue with
Right.
this, they should have banners
Yeah.
saying such.
Or like something in the window or something.
Mhm.
Did y'all not do that before? I feel like I saw something like
You
that.
know, we probably made some when we first did the ordinance to make the noise ordinance that then makes the music
Mhm.
venue defined. I
Mhm.
think we did, but that was a while back. So
Well,
that is
I
a,
think it'd be cool to get
that's
those
a
in
good thought.
and around the venues for sure.
So what we could do is, we could find out, one, I mean, part of the idea of becoming an official music venue was a promotional thing.
Mhm.
But as long as somebody's booking music and paying people, they could have something with this logo as far as I'm concerned. But what we could do is see who's signed up for that, and then we could reach out to them and say, hey, would you like something? And then we could have a range. You know, they could have a little thing for the window, or they could have a big thing for the stage, or whatever they want. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Mateo. Good ideas. Anything else on festival sponsorships before we move on? Then we will move on. The music venue tax rebate program, which I mentioned at our last meeting, and the Ritchie did apply for this round. And have they given you any indication like what the timing is?
They
just here?
responded and said, oh, you missed this, correct it. We'll get back to you, and we corrected it, and they said, awesome, thank you. Talk soon,
Okay,
kinda just left us hanging, but you know, at least we know we did it, and
yeah, so
she said, over 350 venues in Texas signed up this year, which. for
I think
some-
that's a
like,
big
that doesn't-
bump over the
that
year
doesn't
before.
Sound like a lot to me
Yeah,
in venues in Texas,
I
but,
almost think there was 50 or something the year before.
oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay, then it was a big bump then, for
Yeah.
sure. But that was the response.
Yeah, and so this, for anyone who doesn't know or remember, this is a rebate of drink taxes. It's like mixed beverage taxes or sales tax if it's beer and wine. For small venues that meet the criteria. And as I understand it, if you got the application in, you got them the correction, they said, great, that means you're in. And the only question would be, how much money do
Yeah,
they
how
have
much are they
between,
to-
across all
Right,
those?
right, right.
Yeah, but they have a good chunk.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, truly anything helps, of course, with like small bar and stuff.
yeah,
We get emails that are like, would love to play here. I need $1,700. And I'm like, yeah. me
So
too.
do I.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that for you, but like, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And not that we would want to do that for someone I never heard of,
Yeah.
but just being like, oh yeah, well, we can work with you or something like that.
Mhm.
Or a bigger name or something.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear as it goes forward. And so when I put this on the agenda, I did not know for sure that that you had gotten the application in and all that. So that's a great thing to report. The other thing that we may have discussed before, I think we did, that had crossed my mind was distributing, like, I'd like to make a kind of an info sheet on what those criteria are.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll work with you on it since you know what
Yeah.
you had to give them
Mhm.
to prove that stuff. Because what I'd like to do is there's now another year before applications open.
Right.
But in that year, to share to especially Alpine venues, but also around the Tri-County, with the idea that let them know this program's here, there's money attached if they want, but even if they don't apply or decide they can't, meet those things, it at least gets the idea of these criteria, here's a
Something
goal,
maybe to work
here's something to
towards, yeah.
shoot towards, in terms of how you're booking bands, how you're supporting the music with infrastructure and, and things like that. So that's something I would like to
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
work on. Does anybody have anything to ask or comment on or add on that subject?
All good ideas.
Cool. So last is the music industry database slash mailing list. So yeah, this is something we talked about last time, but then Mateo and I were talking the other day. He was headed to Marfa for a festival and asked, hey, can I get a sign-up sheet of some kind to take to this festival? Because he's been hanging out with more Marfa musicians and things. Let's try and get this to people. And I already had a form on the website that we looked at that time and added a couple of extra questions that Mateo suggested to the form I already had. And then since it was on the website, we just make a URL and a QR code. So for him to take, I had Joe print a few little cards. And so I have 2 signs this size with QR codes and about 8 of those. And you got some lamination stuff
Yeah,
coming,
again,
so
I'd really like to make them just a little more
yeah,
permanent
yeah.
and everything.
They're
So
light
we can put them
cardstock.
around venues, put them at the grocery store. Just
Put
like-
them in the green room.
Yeah, put them in the
everywhere.
green room.
Yeah, man.
Heck, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they're just black, so they're super
Yeah.
cheap. I
No,
can print
I
as
think
as many as we want. Um,
I'll let you know when the lamination
Cool.
sheets get here.
yeah, and I will bring you the others that I had printed. And I know that we will be expected at some time, once the state gets their new directory actually up and live, to share willing, musicians and music businesses and things like that. Like I doubt the guitar stores in their database because you've opened since so we want to make sure that as many Alpine businesses and musicians and bands that want to be in there are in there. And so that's part of what we're collecting is that. But then the next thing is if we collect a bunch of stuff, we don't want to just sit on it and it never actually share anything with them or use it to help them connect with each other. So that'll be the next kind of questions to think about. I don't have solid ideas on the best approach for those things. I know we talked last time, I've got a MailChimp, email list with the people that I already had emails for that I used to send some stuff out, but haven't in a long time. And, but that's a broadcast kind of thing. And I think there's way more benefit from people talking to each other rather than me talking to everybody. And so how we can make that happen, I'm totally open to ideas, protect people's privacy, but also, get them together.
I think, of course, once they scan this, they'll see what is in what it entails. And if they don't, they don't. If they
Mhm.
do, they do. But also it would be really cool to get a music industry night kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
To bring are you a musician? Come out, talk to other musicians, check out this check out this thing that we're doing.
One thing that people who are really good at serving their music community is Lubbock, the music friendly group in Lubbock. They've been doing tons of workshops and stuff like that for musicians about how to promote, how to book gigs. They're doing one next week on the touring roster that Texas Commission on the Arts does and stuff like that. And I wonder if, because we can just pick a space and a time and have a little social, say,
Mhm.
hey, let's all get together and talk.
Mhm.
Would do you think it would be a draw if I reached out to those folks and we actually brought somebody in to do like
Yeah,
but then the question is like, what would it be? What would be best? Because I bet that we could get that paid for, get a little stipend for somebody to come in and
Mhm.
put them up for a night.
It definitely would be, I'd say, more professional if there was someone coming in to talk to the musicians, etc. And instead of just like a bunch of guys that are guys and gals like getting together and having some drinks and talking about where they played, who their contacts are, what venues they're called, etc. So I think that would be good.
Though I think that I would expect that the bulk of the benefit would actually come from those conversations. So you'd absolutely want both.
Yeah.
Like a good chunk of time for people to compare notes, kind of.
Mhm. And then also, last thing, would it be beneficial to do like a Marfa night, an Alpine night, a Terlingua night kind of thing? Just to so everybody doesn't have to come central, but we take time, each little group of each town's musicians or something.
It makes a lot of sense in the sense of, because as you pointed out, when we were talking the other day, the musicians in Marfa know each other and play together. Musicians in Alpine do, and a few of them cross back and forth,
Yeah.
but not that many.
Yeah, there's a little cross.
And so if we could get like an invitation list from this effort, then we could do several of these and host them in,
Yeah.
in each county and, South County. Because when over time,
Yeah,
we
I
can
think over
do
time, just to let
Presidio,
people know
Terlingua,
you're not alone
Marfa.
doing this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's actually money to be had and information to be learned and yeah. That's all. I'm done.
That's a great idea. Okay. Excellent. Well, that's a great thing to do with that. Does anybody have any other thoughts on this subject of gathering people together, collecting contact information, how best to serve them or help them serve each other?
I like
don't
it.
have to-
The more we know, the better we do. So it's good to go meet and mix.
Yeah. I think so too. It's fun.
Cool.
Is there anything we're waiting on to start distributing the availability of exposure to?
We don't need to wait for anything
Okay,
particularly. I mean, the form's there, it works.
gotcha. So we can direct folks
Yeah.
there. They can start examining that and
Mm-hmm.
familiarizing themselves with the possibilities.
How fast are we getting the laminator?
Well, we have the laminator waiting on the sheets.
Ah,
I really
Wow.
enjoy laminating things at Cedar, so I go through that stuff pretty good. It's all permanent at Cedar.
I'm headed to Terlingua soon, so I
Oh,
would
yeah.
like to have the
I was gonna say-
laminated version.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely get you a handful. as soon as
I could
We
put
can
some
also
at
get
every
you-
venue,
We
too.
can get you unlaminated ones immediately
somewhere.
and then replace them with
Yeah,
laminated
yeah, well, I
ones.
want one laminated,
Yeah.
like, y'all haven't seen the inside of my truck, but it would be better if it's laminated. So,
Chris, can I, can you pick me up on give me a summary of the purpose of the.
Well, it's that QR code goes to the form on Visit Alpine website. That where people they can enter, it asks like your name, your stage name, what instruments do you play? Yeah, yeah, and if you, it also is like first thing is, are you an individual musician, a band, or a business that you're entering for? And there's different questions based on which of those that you pick.
Okay.
And so if it's a band or a musician, it's like, what genres do you play? And things like that. And you can upload tracks too if you want, though we don't yet have. The idea was that we would eventually build, which I never did, a forward-facing, public-facing directory where, say, somebody's coming to do an event, they could get samples and information of who's available to hire.
Hmm.
And that would still be nice to do.
Thank you.
Yeah. But for starters, we're looking at, how can we use it to build community? And
Yeah,
help.
and I think that's a good, definitely, like, we don't have to wait on that, or again, laminator, but to start putting these in the tri-county, like, I think it'll pique musicians' interests and stuff, or just anybody, and see what it's all about. So,
And we'll see what they do.
I dig it.
Excellent. And we might get done in time for Andrew to leave at 6. So any other discussion on those? And if not, then we'll move on to action items, which there are none. So then we will end with board member comments, and we'll start with Rick. Do you have any comments of any kind about what you're doing, thoughts on what we might be doing, or anything?
Well, there's just all kinds of musicians with health problems and their significant others having that. So I guess just to keep that in mind, and maybe in some form or another, somebody was doing something about it. Musicians helping each other kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I read or heard or whatever. Something that, in case people have come up with some problems.
Yeah, and it seems like what almost every musician is always ready to do is play to help somebody. And so I wonder if there's if we find out, who needs something, because if we can get other people's money to help those people.
we did that benefit for, Rowan?
Tim?
Tim, yeah. There,
They-
Yeah.
That was a big, at least, Devo said it was a huge success for them and stuff.
That's great.
But then, have y'all heard of HAM? The Health
Yes,
Alliance of
in
Austin
Austin.
Musicians? Could be maybe worth it to look at some of their playbook, things like that. I was on it in Austin, but it was like small amounts of money that covered my dentist appointment. Or I was able to get like custom earplugs made, or like little things like that that helped the musician.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of money in it, like if you were to actually go to the doctor, then could only like cover so much, but
And do they just fundraise as a nonprofit, and that's the money
Sure,
that they can
sure.
use? Mm,
but that also there's thousands of musicians
Yeah.
on it, so that money was spread pretty thin.
yeah. And that's organizational lift for sure to make it happen.
That's all I have.
Thanks, Rick. That's good to think about. Andrew, do you have any thoughts? Just in general, what's going on at Sul Ross, or thoughts about what we might be doing?
No, well, so Ross, we're just keeping busy. Things are just moving forward. tomorrow I have my concert with my choir at First Methodist Church. The chamber singers are performing, and we're bringing the Fort Stockton Choir up, and really excited about that. Tomorrow as well in the afternoon, although it's going to be really freezing, we're going to have a Dia de los Muertos festival outside. Presidio High School is going to be bringing their band and their folklorico out, and Fort Stockton's going to bring their middle school choir. So we're going to have some festival music out tomorrow on the campus. So tomorrow will be a nice big full day of music, starting in the afternoon and then with my concert in the evening. But we're just all lined up of just concerts.
What time is the concert tomorrow?
7:30 p.m. And then with trying to think of in regards to Alpine High School, I'm really excited that the marching band made it to area. It was really, really exciting for them. I know Chuck Wilson is proud of his marching band, and that they made it to the area finals. And so we wish them luck. I think they go this Saturday to the next level. And so so it's great that our high school marching band is continuing on to the next level. And we're just classical music, marching band, everything is kind of moving forward in this realm. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mateo, any comments? That's fair.
Things good over here.
All right. Will,
Nothing of substance.
okay. Things going all right at the store?
Yeah. You'd think we were a real guitar store here as of late.
Right.
It's going well.
That's good to hear. Neil?
On the ham issue, what if we called it a relief fund? Just started. We could, I don't know, monthly's probably too much, but have a quarterly concert somewhere and
Mhm.
raise money.
That'd be cool, like a rotating concert that is always about the one thing.
And it could go into a general fund, or it could be dedicated to a specific acute need. at the time.
I think as long as it's music related, you
Yeah,
know, for musicians, I
Yeah.
understand what you're talking about, I heard. And yeah, it's lacking out here.
that's a great idea.
However we could help. Probably a lot of paperwork to make it an insurance kind of deal.
Yeah, and well, I mean, even to start a nonprofit, it's one thing, like if something like that happens, the big challenge is just somebody trustworthy that holds the
Who's
funds.
in charge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if you have that and everybody trusts that person to
but
manage it,
I
then
think
that's
the
fine.
board should vote for dispensing the funds, you know,
I was gonna say there's some kind of vote.
yeah, that's good control.
That is, then the fiduciary becomes the city, and then the council probably needs to sign off on
Okay,
on how that happens, because there's staff time involved, because then the city's holding the
Correct.
money and cutting the checks.
correct.
And so there's nothing in the world wrong with that. And
Just time and
yeah,
work.
it could go from a ragtag group of, collect some bills and throw them at somebody, up to
Mm-hmm.
up to a standalone nonprofit with something that the city's behind and managing in the middle.
Yeah,
That is also a good idea. Okay,
graciously accepting private donations, of course.
right. So yeah, that's something we can explore with the mayor, with the council, with the finance director, because
Yeah.
we really want to find out, like, what does this mean for
Yeah, how
for staff
far-
time and
what
stuff,
does-
how complicated
What
is it
does
for
it
them?
cover and what does it not?
Yeah. Excellent. Mayor, any comment?
Definitely want to bring Victoria in on that
Yeah.
conversation. And that's a great idea, musicians relief fund. Call it something like that. I'm glad that you had that created, Chris. I love to see Alpine so big.
Thank you.
And I'm also glad that the Ritchie applied for that tax rebate. That's excellent. Glad you guys
As
took
far as
that
I know,
step.
there's a couple bars in town that did it. So
Okay.
Hopefully,
Good, 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 good. And then, also the QR code for the directory. I think that's a fabulous idea. You guys have great ideas.
No,
Definitely belong on the board.
yeah. And so, yeah, I'll just say for my comments, thank you guys for showing up and coming up with good stuff. And, I really appreciate it. Thanks for running over from your house.
I fast walk. Thank you.
Yes.
Apologize for me being-
All right, then, given that we've exhausted the agenda, we will adjourn at 6:03. Thank you, sir. Thanks you all.
Thanks, everybody.
When's the next-
Oh, when